Shannon, have there been any comments coming in?
There hasn't been any comments about
Okay.
direction for e-commerce.
No problem. We're just going to keep talking, and then maybe we will hit that right after lunch or whatever. But one of the things that I think is really kind of cool, if you're interested in kind of like what did happen and what was what, if you go to the Adilas.biz homepage, so say you're, boom, you land on the main homepage, you can literally scroll down to the very, very bottom of the page. There's a whole bunch of stuff if you want to read it. Okay? There's a little history document right here. It's 6 pages long. It's really not that long, but if you wanted to, this basically takes it from some of the starting levels clear out to, this one was kind of done in late 2011, but like we just keep going and going and going. But there's some fun little concepts and ideas and philosophies and using one-to-manys and how do you do that and how does that create an object and how can you put the operations in front of your accounting and how can you kind of bring things together versus a gap, and like there's some cool stuff that's actually right here on the front page of Adilas. This is kind of who we are and what we're doing, and then we ended up even showing a small little system. Hey, here's what, you know, what we have, here's what's going on, here's why we do this. That's why when we do training, we train on the map, okay? You get to use this whole piece of the puzzle. It's kind of fun. But anyway, that's just a small little piece of that. I won't belabor that anymore, but there is some great information if you go to the main Adilas.biz website and just start reading down, kind of check it out and see what's going on. This is a random piece of history, okay? And this is fun for me, and if it's not fun for you, I apologize, but this is kind of fun. So we currently are saying, hey, we can do sales and inventory tracking and point of sale and customer relationship management and business intelligence and big data. Like, these are buzzwords. Did you know that we didn't even add any of these marketing things at all until probably about 6 months ago? Like, literally, what we were doing is we have all of these things that we were doing, and we just haven't even been able to what we were doing is our goal was, you know how I showed you that we are slowly kind of like, say this was our goal, and we had kind of filled in this and filled in this. We kept thinking, okay, we'll just get it all done and then we'll market it, okay? Well, what we didn't know is the deeper we went down this rabbit hole, guess what? As you kept going, it kept expanding on us, and we're like, oh my goodness, what about this? What about this? So we kept busily building, trying to get it into the level of being done, but it keeps advancing in front of us. Even this morning, we were doing some brainstorming, right? This morning, and we were like, cool, we're in the cloud, we can do all this cool stuff. We were right here, and we were talking about what breaks the cloud. Okay? What breaks some of this? Where does it go? Where do we even see it going? Like, this is literally pioneering type thing, okay? Software exists. We use it all the time. This is a Word document. I use a browser. That's considered a piece of software. We use scripting environments. Those are software. We put things on the web. All of a sudden, it makes it accessible and all this kind of cool thing. But where does it go? What ends up happening is because we can't even do it to that level where we can finish every single piece of the puzzle, it keeps advancing. We're like, oh my goodness, so now we have to satisfy this need and this need and this need. It's very interesting. Literally, there was kind of a breaking point inside of Adilas, if you will, and this is company internally stuff, but I'm not trying to say yays or nays, and this just happens. This is general. But we're like, we got to get this thing out there. We've got millions of dollars invested in trying to build this, and we're chasing this thing that we didn't even know where it was actually going to go. And so what ended up happening is about December of last year, one of the fun things that's actually happening is as we keep developing it and we keep pushing it further and further along, we end up getting more and more ways that we can see how things tie together. There's a cool little flyer on Adilas. Some of you guys have seen this one before. And these are some of the pieces of the puzzle that we bring to the, we've seen the map. We maybe have talked about like how you can take locations and stack this same model. If you have one, great. If you have multiples, great. We can play that way. Well, one of the cool things that ends up happening with some of this stuff is we kind of start saying, hey, here's some of the different pieces of the software. Here's some of the different pieces of this. One of our marketing things is, Adilas, you get the complete package. You get the system. guess what? Even though you get all of these tools and all of these features, can I tell you some pieces that are missing? Okay? Check this out right here. Even though you get everything, and there's literally tons, I'm going to actually scroll back up to the top where I can actually physically show you on a map type interface, okay? What about marketing? Is that important? That's not one of our big buttons, okay? I would say marketing is a big part that we don't have yet. M-A-R, okay? And I realize that's not a very good way to spell it. Marketing, okay? How about customer loyalty type stuff, okay? That's actually kind of tied to marketing. How about some of your business analytics? What are your trends? We're catching all your data, and it's kind of like lightly in history and reports. But guess what? We need more. We need more. We need more. The questions that we were actually waiting, and the reason we're even on this particular screen, is people had questions on e-commerce. Instead of somebody coming into the store and interacting and doing the normal transaction, either this way or this way through time, it's kind of doing some different pieces of the puzzle for you, okay? It keeps erasing my marker. Are you seeing my marker, or are you not seeing my marker?
I'm seeing it, and then.
Okay. No problem. It's just kind of been erasing my marker, so maybe I will jump out of this particular flyer and just come back here and see if it works. Okay. This is a different environment. We'll see if it maybe didn't like to have it over a PDF versus say like a graphic. Okay. So basically we were talking about the different flows of what was coming on and how e-commerce kind of plays into this role. We talked about marketing, that there's a major need, customer loyalty, being able to track this, custom e-commerce stuff. Hey, I want to have my customer come online. So you're basically going like this. Here's my world. Here's my little moon or multiple moons or whatever it is like this. And I want my people to interact here and then through some sort of an environment. So my people interact here, and then it lands in my world, and then I know how to do it. And then it automatically flows into my accounting, okay? Try to do that in a T account, okay? What's happening is we're seeing more and more of these little custom pieces, like it kind of almost deals with the interaction between the main mothership and what you're calling your satellites or your moons, or what are you exposing as your products and services, and what is the custom needs. Oh man, I'd really like to have a gift card, so if they had a gift card, it automatically they could buy stuff, but I'm going to then have to track that as my liability against my company, and everything ends up being systematic. And so the deeper we get and the deeper that we see actually different pieces of the puzzle, it's funny. Like, I'm not trying to say anything bad about Adilas right now, but I'm saying, oh my goodness, even as deep as Adilas is, I can see the next levels. And it's like, oh my goodness, I had no clue this rabbit hole went that deep. And literally, here's the ground, okay? And we jumped into a rabbit hole, and maybe it starts branching and doing some cool stuff. We're exploring some different branches. And we've explored in here for 12 years in this rabbit hole, okay? We have the system built out to the level where, like, wow, we've explored a couple tunnels. That sure, there's some other pieces that we could go do, and maybe we look in there and we're like, oh, I'm not going to touch that even yet or whatever. But, like, wow, the custom level, and as soon as we hit e-commerce, the whole floor, I'm not going to say drops out, I'm going to say expands. You got to another room inside of this rabbit tunnel, okay? This is where the custom level of, like, I don't have customers, I have students, and they want to buy lunch cards, and they want to do different things like this. Guess what that is? Inside of here, this is your school. You have your customers in your web page, and they buy a thing, and as they use their points off of their lunch cards, it's the exact same as a customer who has a gift card who comes in and buys something. How much is left? How much is this? It just starts expanding to all the different levels. And so I will be quiet. I will probably get in trouble from Steve from just talking about all kinds of craziness. And I'm not trying to tell you that Adilas is broken. It has so many tools. It has functions tools. We can roll, we can play, we can do all kinds of stuff. This is currently where we are at. What we are seeing is we're seeing the ball keep advancing in front of us, and it's going to be amazing. There will eventually, people will end up building similar systems to Adilas, and they will end up using some of the foundations that we've kind of been laying on some of this cloud-type technology. Like, this is one of the fun things that I like as far as Adilas in my job is basically get an idea, where are we at, okay? So let's pretend that we are somewhere, okay? And we have a mass of different bolts and tools and stuff. And then we have a dream that's way out here, and we don't even know how to get to it. My job and the fun thing that I like to do is working towards a dream. I can't take you directly there, okay? I can't. But what we will do and what we will continue to do is we will keep building bridges and stepping stones so that we can get you to your dream, okay? And the dreams keep advancing, so we just keep building more and more and more. Pretty soon this gets stabilized. And then we see more of this out here. Like, you have to literally imagine that the whole thing kind of ends up becoming, you're kind of chasing your tail in a way, but it's fun. It's progression. It's where things are going. And I enjoy it. And so hopefully, as part of my teaching sessions, I will try to share some vision with you and show you where we're headed and where things are going.